Kingdom.
Fuck that house now. I'm back. To the top, I'ma make it. Niggas just can't take it. To the top, I'ma make 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 it. Niggas just can't take it. Yeah.
Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy AJ. I'm here with Rage and Cypher. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe. We're so close to 19K, so hit that share, like, and subscribe. Yes, so today we're going to talk about the Nets, well, the NBA draft lottery odds and the Nets draft lottery odds. How does that build Sean Marks? How does Sean Marks kind of build the team with, those lottery odds in mind and losing, tanking? We're going to talk about that, and also make sure you guys follow us on Instagram, Nets Kingdom 1, and netskingdom.net for the articles. Yes, so Cypher, man, the lottery odds, bro. What were the lottery odds for us? What is the lottery odds for the top 5? I guess because some people, NBA fans or Nets fans, want to know, like, what are our chances of getting that number 1?
Okay, so assuming that we are the worst team in the league record-wise,
Yeah,
the odds. Okay, so we are guaranteed 100% a top 5 pick. We won't get pick number 6. We'll get at least at worst top 5.
right.
So we have a 14% chance of getting number 1, a 13.4% chance at number 2, a 12.7% chance at number 3, a 12% chance at number 4,
Yeah.
and a 47.9% chance at number 5.
Sheesh. That's the thing, man, because with this, it's like people don't understand. Like, I hate when like the argument on Twitter, and that's Twitter, and people will be like, oh, if you're not the worst team, you don't always get the number 1 pick. But it's like our goal is to be the worst team because we do want that certified chance at a number 1 or at least a top 5, because this top 5 in the 2025 draft is very, 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 very crucial. Very crucial for your team's outlook. I mean, it could have a possible 3 needle movers, right? I guess you could say 3 needle movers. So
Probably
and
more.
then there's other guy, and then there's another one with VJ Edgecombe that could be
Yeah.
another.
He's
and
the
that's just the
fourth
top
guy. I'm
3.
interested.
That's just the top 5. This whole 2025 draft class is very, very talented. Very, very. It runs deep. So it's
And
like
we
it's not.
we don't even have a year of we haven't even seen any of these guys yet actually playing. So we'll see a lot more guys coming out and proving themselves this upcoming year.
Yeah. So I've seen like a lot of talk about people saying like, okay, what does the Nets need, or what's the best fit for us? Like, what do you guys? I just want to ask this question for y'all. Like, out of the top 5, who do you think is probably? I mean, I guess you could say the obvious would be Cooper, but according to like the Nets needs, who do you think the Nets? Because usually Sean Marks says best player available, we're gonna take him. But who do you think? What do you think the Nets need for the future? Like, as far as position wise, out of that top 5,
Probably just stick with like with Cooper. Like you're gonna need like a taller guy that's gonna be able to do that can essentially play a forward position for you. And obviously we've talked about explosive scoring, and with the team that we have, we might need a little bit more of that. But Cooper Flagg should definitely be very, very good. And in terms of what we think he will be, and what he should be, and what we've seen out of Team USA and his clips, this guy is clearly the guy for us. If he's there, like if we have the number 1 pick, like he's just.
Yeah.
He can do everything. The way he plays defense too, at the size, it's just, there's not much like him. There's obviously Ace Bailey who will also help us out a lot, and Dylan Harper's another interesting one as well. Just because a point guard, a point guard, maybe somebody you pair next to Cam Thomas with Dylan Harper. Ace Bailey is a very good scoring wing that we could really use compared to Paul George. We've talked about him, but Cooper Flagg is just that he's just that good, and if he if he maybe and just improves the jump shot mechanics a little bit, and just gets a little bit better. I mean, if he keeps it up, just everything we've been seeing, Cooper Flagg is easily the guy.
Yeah. And then real quick, I saw this article. Shout out to SB Nation. They basically named the 9 NBA teams in the Cooper Flagg sweepstakes for 2025, ranked by tiers. So these are the bad teams, if you guys want to know. They put us and the Wizards in the first tier for the sweepstakes for Cooper Flagg in this article. Then they have us, the Wizards, and the Blazers as basically the top 3 bad teams. Then the second tier of NBA bad teams, they put the Pistons, the Jazz, the Bulls, and the Hornets. So that's like that second tier bad teams. And then they put the dark horse team, the Spurs. Basically, they're saying that the Spurs are going to be one of those teams that they did make some moves with Harrison Barnes. They got Chris Paul. People think the Spurs could, not be a trash team this year and be able to pick up their wins this year. So they're putting them as a dark horse, because there's always a dark horse team that makes it to like a top 3 or a top 2. And they're like, how did they get there? They were actually in the play-in, or they were actually pretty good. There's always those teams in the lottery that you're scared to compete against, because you can out-tank that team and then still lose out to that team that was better than you in the play-in, like the Hawks did. Like the Hawks got the number 1 pick last year. You're like, what? How? What I'm saying? So the Spurs could be like that, they're saying, I guess, as the dark horse, which would be insane if they gave the Spurs Cooper and Wemby. What? But yeah, going forward, let us know in the comments. NBA draft lottery odds. It's like, as Nets fans, what could you really hope for? Like this season, it has to be a tank all season, and I just hope Sean Marks kind of takes that seriously. Before we go, we'll talk about Sean Marks real quick. Now, how soon do you guys think that if we keep DFS and CJ, how soon during the season do you think Sean pivots, or you think like, is there any reason during the season you think Sean has to press that button like, damn, I gotta get rid of somebody now because we're winning too much or something's happening? Do you think there's ever a moment in the season when that happens?
Oh, we're not going to win.
Yeah.
Like, look, Dorian Finney-Smith and Cam Johnson are good players, but they're not that good. Like, unless Cam Johnson takes like an absurd leap where he's averaging like 20 points per game and playing like great defense, and Cam Thomas turns into prime Michael Jordan. Like, no, we're losing.
Ben 10 comes back, his return. Ben 10 starts playing like Philly Ben.
Okay, AJ, at that point, if all those guys are clicking and we're playing well, then it's like, okay, the rebuild is over. Like, we're trying to win now. Because
that'll be hilarious.
So good.
Yeah.
Like, in order for us to be that good, for Philly Ben to come back and Cam Thomas to take a leap and Cam Johnson to be good, like, at that point, it doesn't matter. And like, all those things aren't going to happen. Like, even if one of those things happens, like, we're still going to be tanking. So we're fine.
Yeah.
Like, Marks has nothing to worry about.
Yeah, I think we know we're going to be a bad team. It's just like trying to get to that worst, like what the Spurs did for Wemby, or what the Pistons been trying to do the past few years, like trying to go to the bottom of the bottom, because it's like, even with our team fully loaded and everything on cylinders, we're probably still a top 5 bottom team. We're still top 5 bottom, but it's not like we're trying to get to the next tier, the first tier of trash. That's what we're trying to hit as Nets fans, no?
Gotta be first tier. You have to be first tier, but we will. We should definitely be first tier. It's just, obviously playing that all into mind. Like, although it's like, not all of this stuff is gonna happen. We tend to obviously, always think about the hypotheticals and always tend to think ahead and being like, oh, if this does well, if this is what never does. But like, it's like, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be weird. This is the one year where it's like, oh yeah, we're trying to do something, and the opposite happens, and we're just like, oh my gosh, again. Or like, what is this?
Again,
what is this? Why is this? Why is it going the way we don't want to go again? But it's like, but obviously, if we're winning games and things are clicking though, and like, it'll be very interesting to see like, what's the plan? What's the plan? But I think, ultimately we do know that it's a rebuild, and we've all been told that we know we want to be competitive, but this is a draft that you have to get a top 5 pick in. You have to get a top 3 pick. Hey, do whatever you can to get that number 1 at this point, just in terms of where we're coming from. We just lost KD and Kyrie 2 years ago. Like, I don't care. It's time to get the number 1 overall pick. Like, we just had Mikal. We got a really good pick, but it's time. It's time.
Because Nets Twitter, bro. Nets Twitter has kind of put the pressure on, like, oh, you see a lot of people tweeting out, Nets fans tweeting out, Sean, get rid of CJ and DFS before the season, make this team as possibly bad from the beginning. Like, they're like on that hungry tip, like, oh, we need this to happen. Like, we need DFS and CJ to be good. We need to be bad. Like, you see that people Nets fans are impatient. They want Sean to, make the team as bad as possible before the season starts. They'll give us a chance to like win a couple. That's what I think. Nets fans are on that type of timing right now. But
I feel like fans are forgetting how easy it is to lose.
yeah.
Because think of it like this: Victor Wembanyama last year had a
Mhm.
generational rookie season. This man averaged 20 and 10 and led the league in blocks per game, and they still only won 22 games.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Because people do think like, oh, I guess Nets fans are thinking like in their kind of Nets world, like they've seen the potential of each kind of guy, like Ben's, but like okay, we got Ben, CT's an explosive scorer, Nick Claxton all defense, and then Clowney hitting threes. They just think in their minds like, oh my god, that could win a game, but they don't think about like the large spectrum of things. Like we're gonna be a dad. It's not gonna be like, oh, we shouldn't be worried about winning too many. That's basically, what I'm
And
saying.
think of
Yeah.
it like
It
this:
just comes down to when there's some other players too. Sorry to cut you off, but
Yeah.
there's just a little things where it's just like, you know what, like we'll probably not win. Like
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
probably not win. But like although it's like the little things, it's like you have to look if you're trying to get number one. Each one
Yeah.
of these teams is like who like are they going to be better than us? Like is our team on paper with our coach gonna outtank this team?
Yeah. Yeah. Because don't get me wrong, bro. Let's keep it a bean. Like there are teams in this league that were like, yo, every year, don't you have a team that be like, yo, this team should be trash, but they're winning some games. Like every so often, don't you get that team? Like
And then
sometimes you'd
vice
be like,
versa too. And then
yeah.
vice versa.
I'm not just talking about just the Nets. I'm just talking about the NBA in general. You'd be like, yo, this team should be trash, but they made the play-in or they've been playing good. Like that happens every so often. But yeah.
Happens. There's always those teams.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments. What do you guys think about the lottery odds? How do you feel about the schedule that just dropped out also? How do you feel that factors in? Do you think Sean should get it done to CJ and DFS before the season starts? Are you on that rush kind of pressure him type timing, or you're on that like we'll see what happens? We're gonna be bad anyway. We'll just see what happens. Let us know in the comments. Follow us on Twitter. All our Twitters are scrolling at the bottom. Instagram, Nets Kingdom 1. Thank you guys. And make sure you guys share the YouTube. We're so close to 19K, so hit that like button. Appreciate you guys.